Hi loves and welcome to Love What Lack. Oh, I wish you could see where I was recording right now. I'm trying a few different studio spaces, which is exciting, but the room I'm in currently, the curtains don't work. So there's currently no privacy between me and the outside world. I'm literally in like a fish tank to the street, to the public street. I literally had to video call my mother for a pep talk to get me to start recording. So I can only hope that I'm not going to end up on somebody's TikTok or some kid's Snapchat. At least if I'm on a Snapchat, I'll never see it because I'm too old to have the app. Anyway, hope you're all well. Unfortunately for me, every time I've been in the gym this week, I've been in there with a man. Just one man and me, which, if you know me, is like my absolute worst nightmare. There's a few things that I really can't handle socially. And being in the gym with somebody and having like any type of conversation in the gym is that for me. I'm so out of my comfort zone. So for me to walk in and be familiar with the guy there, and honestly so nice, which almost makes it worse. Couldn't do any weights. I was like, God forbid I go into the weight section and I do weights when somebody else is here. Like, I'm so funny with it. But I have persevered and I've continued to go at different times of the day. Me and him seem to be on the same schedule, so I guess I'll just have to lean into it. Maybe by next week we'll be doing dual workouts. Right, let's go straight into this week's story. The story is actually a comment from somebody on TikTok. So I posted just a clip from an episode where I was saying about somebody that got broken up with, like out of the blue. And we actually had loads of comments on there. And it's actually like a really common thing that's happening to people where they're completely blindsided by a breakup. So I thought I'd read a couple out. So she says, "My ex was engaged to me and said he wanted to upgrade my ring. The week after, he completely changed towards me before splitting up with me 3 weeks after that. Literally the worst kind of breakup. You don't expect it. Part of me thinks when he changed towards me, he acted that way so I'd split up with him. But I was very committed no matter what we went through because I loved him. I chose him every day no matter what. And most people wouldn't do that. It's coming up to 10 weeks and it's just been a lot. It still is a lot." I literally commented and I was like, 10 weeks is nothing. So please be kind to yourself, because 10 weeks in a breakup, especially when it's out of the blue like that. Like, what was I saying last week? Hate to break it to you if you're only 10 weeks in, but I do genuinely think it's going to take you like at least a couple of years to feel normal, because what a shock. But what I can't understand is why you say you're going to upgrade a ring for somebody. Like, you've already proposed to somebody. I swear to God, if somebody proposes to me and they've got any doubt in their mind, don't bother. Don't bother doing it. I would rather you never propose to me and me break up with you because of that, because I want to get married and I'm not going to waste my time with somebody that's never going to propose to me. But like, why blind somebody like that? So if somebody proposes to you, you think then you're excited you're going to be with them forever. They offer to upgrade your ring and then they completely change and break up with you 3 weeks later. Like, what was the reason? Cardi B, what was the reason? And then we had another one. She said, "My ex-fiance did this." Like, what? Who are these men that are proposing to people, spending loads of money on a ring, and then not wanting to see it through to the marriage? Like, one, what's the point? What was the reason? And two, how embarrassing. Like, are you not embarrassed? Like, when somebody gets engaged, you're posting all the pictures online, you're having engagement parties, everyone's super excited, you're planning the wedding. Like, are you not embarrassed that you've just done that to somebody when you, like, your heart's not in it or you're being dishonest? It's wild. I found out my ex-fiance was cheating for 3 months and had no explanation as to why he did it. The wedding was planned and ready to go. We were supposed to be married in May 2026. I'm heartbroken. Oh, for me as well, I think cheating always is bad, obviously. But for me, like, if you're cheating after you've proposed to somebody, and especially after you've married somebody, that is just a million times worse, because when you're getting engaged to somebody and obviously married, like, you're saying vows. I think people forget, honestly. I think people forget these days that when you're getting married, it's not just for a wedding, it's not just for a party, it's not just for a piece of jewellery. Like, if you're getting married to somebody, you're actually making a commitment and you're making a vow to that person to be with them. People don't take it seriously anymore. Remember it went viral, like this guy was like saying something in his vows about how his future wife, is going to keep like his belly full and his ball sack empty or something. It was something like that. It was outrageous. I must have spoken about it at the time when it all came out. But if you come to our wedding and you talk about your ball sack being emptied in front of my friends and family, as we do in our wedding vows, absolutely not. I'm calling the wedding off. But yeah, I feel like people now, some people, obviously, not everyone, I feel like people tend to think of engagements and weddings and stuff almost as like tick boxes, which I get because we are, there is pressure in society, wherever, to get engaged and married and have kids and stuff. So I get it. But I feel like because of that, some people don't take the seriousness of it. And then because like divorces and stuff are so common, which I do think is a good thing. Like nobody wants to stay in, unhappy marriages for 50 years. Like, thank God that's changed. But I think like the more common it is, it almost like takes the seriousness out of it. What's the traditional vows actually? Should I read them? Because I feel like people are not sticking to them anymore. Right, here we go. Traditional wedding vows. To hold from this day forward for better or worse. People are not doing that these days. For richer or poorer. Arguably, I don't know. In sickness and in health, not always. We've seen the stats of the men leaving their sick wives. To love and to cherish till death do us part. No, people are not running like that anymore. People are now saying like, I'm going to be with you until I change my mind, basically, and then I'm jumping ship. Honestly, it's wild scenes out there. Cue to me in 10 years' time coming on here saying I'm divorced. It's my choice, and I couldn't do it anymore. Like, I get it. I do get some situations where people get divorced completely. But, like, the situations like this, where you haven't even made it to the altar and you're already having an affair. Come on. What's the point in getting the ring? Why waste your money? Because I'm not giving you that ring back. I'm taking it and I'm getting it melted down somewhere. I always thought that if that happened to me, I'd give the ring back and I wouldn't want it. But now I just think, well, I don't know. I mean, you never fully know. But at this moment in time today, if I had a failed engagement ring on my finger, I'd probably melt it down and like sell it for something and just like take the money. There's an episode in Sex and the City in it where Carrie goes to like melt it down and have earrings done. Then she feels like she can't do it because it's sad. I feel like that would be me. I'd go in all guns blazing and then I'd reach the shop assistant and I'd probably like burst down in tears. I'd probably have a complete breakdown. But selling it for the money, I think that's fine because money doesn't hold like a sentiment, does it? So yeah, honestly, there were so many comments on it. There was this guy and his girlfriend broke up with him 10 days before they were meant to move in together, and she bailed, told him her feelings had changed, and she blocked him on everything. Somebody else said, mine dumped me 2 weeks before the wedding that he planned. Wild. I mean, it must be like cold feet. This is like the definition of cold feet, isn't it? You've gone as far to pick a ring, plan the wedding and stuff, and then you bail in 2 weeks before, or even some stories we've had where they bail in like on the day of. And I feel like that type of blindsiding makes breakups so hard. Like if you have gone through something like that, then my God, I'm sorry, and my heart goes out to you, because obviously breakups are hard anyway. Your body literally goes into withdrawals when you break up from somebody. It's literally a shock to the body because you're so used to that person and your safety net, and then that gets taken away and your body can't regulate the emotions. And I actually read into this, like what actually happens to the body when you go through a breakup. And it said, when you're in a relationship, your brain gets regular hits of dopamine. So you get reward and excitement from your partner. Oxytocin, which just sounds like a drug. Oxytocin, which is bonding, safety and closeness. And serotonin, which says you're in mood stability. And I must stress, you're only going to get good serotonin if you're in a good relationship. Because if you're in a bad one, let me tell you, you're not getting good moods from that. You are not going to be in a good mood. The partner's probably not in a good mood. And that's probably why it's so bad if you're in like a bad or a toxic relationship. That's because your nervous system can't regulate. Because 1 minute you feel safe and they're all happy. The next minute they're annoyed with you. And then like your system's all up and down. And that's why some people get sick in a relationship. That's always a bad sign. My TikTok algorithm was giving me all of that before. It was like, showing girls that had like really bad skin and really bad stomach problems, and they couldn't eat and they couldn't sleep properly. And then afterwards they realised it was because their relationship was so toxic. Like, it is mad, honestly. Making that decision who you're going to be with is very important because you spend a lot of time with them. And unfortunately, they do have a lot of control over your emotions. Absolute lol, guys. There's literally an Uber Eats driver directly outside. I'm kind of glad I've got the mic in my hand, because if he just saw me sat here with this camera and light, he might be thinking I'm doing some other type of content, a little bit of OnlyFans. At least I've got the mic. Oh my God, how embarrassing. But yeah, anyway, after you go through a breakup, your body obviously loses all the dopamine and the serotonin and oxytocin. No, is that right? I knew I would get that one wrong. I knew I'd get it wrong if I wasn't looking at my phone, because all I'm thinking of is it Oxycontin? That's probably not the right word either, but I watched this show before. It was really good on Netflix called, I can't remember, guys. It was a true story about how, like, the drugs in America, they, like, put Oxycontin. No, I'm going to have to Google it, hang on. Oh, it is Oxycontin. Okay, go me. So that's basically like, it was like a drug that they were putting into painkillers, and then people were getting addicted to it and overdosing and stuff, which obviously awful. It's still going, by the way. That's a different story anyway. So I knew it's not that. This is the natural chemical. But basically, yeah, when you go through a breakup, your body loses like all those hits, and then essentially your body misses the chemicals, not the person. It takes a little while for your brain to catch up, because obviously you feel like you miss that person, and you feel like you miss their texts and what they're saying, and obviously that is true, especially at the start. But really, your body is just missing the chemicals that it gives you. So, like, when they message you or when they come home from work and you see them and you hug them, that gives you a little serotonin boost, or the dopamine, wherever. So obviously then when that gets taken, your body's withdrawing like from those chemicals. All quite technical, guys, but when you're in the trenches of a breakup, you don't realise this. So hopefully this will be helpful for some of you. But yeah, anyway, the whole point of that is, like, I feel like when you break up with somebody naturally, you know, like when you kind of know a breakup's coming, when things are not going well and you have a conversation, your body still goes through all that reaction anyway. And obviously, like, you can look back and ask for answers, and most of the time you've got them. Like, most of the time you've had the conversation and you kind of know, and it's still shit. So I feel like to go through a blindsided breakup like that is just torture. And that's obviously how people feel when they find out their partners have had affairs, or, you know, if they've like betrayed them in some way. Just think like it's an extra level, because you have the shock, you know. It's not like a slow like burn of a relationship. It's just like a big shock from hell. I replied actually to one of the comments, and I just said that honesty isn't the easiest, but it is the kindest, like, in that type of situation. You know, to be honest with somebody and say, like, your feelings have changed, and, like, try and give an explanation is hard and shit, but it's a lot kinder than proposing. Let's just put that out there. If you've got any doubts in your relationship, please don't go proposing to them. Actually, I've got a fun breakup story. Did you see what happened with Chelsea Handler and her breakup? She said, I think she said on Call Her Daddy, but she said on like another podcast recently, and that clip came up as well. But basically, when she broke up with her ex, she planted 12 trees. I can't remember what they call, like sequoia trees or something. She planted like 6 trees down his driveway. I mean, rich person problems. So you can just get 12 trees delivered and planted on somebody's drive, seemingly without them knowing. I don't know. Anyway, she had these trees planted because she said every autumn, I think, they bloom and they're absolutely stunning. And she knew that he would get loads of comments about how beautiful the trees were. And she said every year when those trees bloom, she gets a message off him saying that he misses her and how beautiful the trees are. I absolutely love that. It's like, you will not forget about me, and you're going to think fondly of me every time I come into your mind, which will be every single year at the same time because of these trees. I love it. That's like breakup Petty's final boss. It's no wonder she was with 50 Cent, actually, because he is obviously King Petty as well, isn't he? Which I love. You should actually watch the interview she did with Scott Evans, or basically just the clip, because she talks about when she got with 50 Cent, and yeah, it's really funny. Her assistant called him Curtis Cent, and that just cracked me up. And then she's saying it, that almost just gets lost in the story because like there's so much going on. But imagine calling him Curtis Cent. Like, understanding that his first name isn't 50, obviously, but not grasping that his surname isn't Cent. Like, why wouldn't you just say 50 Cent or Curtis? I don't know his surname. Curtis Cent is so funny to me. Clearly, she's not a stan, because all stans know is Curtis Jackson. Also, if you've got any stories, guys, any breakup stories, dating stories, what is going on with you right now, then please come and let us know. You can send an email to sadie@lovewhatluck.com or send me a DM at Sadie Maltby at lovewhatluck. Oh, guys, I went to see the basketball on the weekend. The NBA, no less, like proper basketball. And basically me and the girls were trying to go to a basketball match, actually just the London Lions, I think they're called, for ages, because it just seemed like, when something comes across your TikTok, and I was like, that's cool. Like, I love when the Americans go and watch like the Lakers and stuff, and they courtside, and I was just like, I just want to live that life. In London. Anyway, the NBA came, so I actually went to see the Memphis Grizzlies and Orlando Magic. And it was everything I hoped it would be, guys. I'm not going to lie. It was a full show, proper American show. Like, Vanessa Williams was there, from Ugly Betty. I was so chuffed. Vanessa Williams was there singing the American anthem. She did get heckled a little bit. Somebody shouted to Trump to leave Greenland alone. And I'm like, yeah, fair. But it's not Vanessa Williams' fault, is it? Just like let the lady sing. Do you know what I mean? She's here on a Sunday afternoon in a gorgeous blue suit. Just let her sing the national anthem. It's not her problem. She doesn't want anything to do with Greenland. Anyway, the men in basketball, the height. I was waiting to go in, and it must have been an ex-player. I actually spotted him courtside later, so he was like an ex-player. Literally everyone's standing, and he like moved through the crowd, I'm not lying, like a foot above everyone else. And then behind him was his girlfriend, who was, no lie, about 5 foot. She was teeny tiny, like a shawty. And I was just like, oh my God, I bet all tall girls are fuming. But can't recommend enough for a girls' day out. I actually didn't go with the girls. I went with my boyfriend, there was a group of us. But go with the girls and scope out the guys that don't have to lie on the dating apps about their height, because nobody there is saying they're 6 foot and turning up at 5'8". If they are saying they're 6'7", best believe it, because I've seen it with my own eyes. Honestly, I really want to go and watch the London Lions games now, because, yeah, I think it's just fun. Although I think most of my TikTok was basically, it was mostly girls saying that they were going to go and watch the London team play because Ovi was on there from Love Island. I don't know how good they are as a team. But, yeah, I think that's good enough reason to go. Oh, actually as well, guys, I asked for solo date ideas, didn't I, on Instagram last week. So I'm in my solo date era, and I got some really good suggestions, and I didn't share them all on Instagram, so I thought I would read them out here because I had some really good ones. So yeah, thank you to everyone that sent some in. So we have got hot pod yoga, a massage, Columbia Road Flower Market. I thought that was good. I've never been to a flower market before, so I thought that was a good one. This one was Mudchute Farm, which I googled, and I think it's like in London somewhere. But generally a farm to feed the pigs apples. That is a dream for me. I absolutely love pigs. So that's a good one. Go and see animals. Solo theatre, which I've done solo cinema. Solo theatre feels like a little bit scary, but I feel like that would be a good one to go and enjoy a nice show. Also, I feel like the tickets they must be cheaper if you only get one ticket. And then we've got going for a massage or a facial. I actually went for a facial by myself for my birthday last year. I had like a solo birthday date as well, which I actually did, like it wasn't up to me. I had a solo birthday date like a few years back, and I was like, oh, just like because people are in work and, not everyone's going to book your birthday off when it's like a Tuesday and you've got no real plans. So I didn't have the day completely by myself. I remember I met Sophie for lunch and like did bits in the morning, but I went to get my nails and stuff. But I actually really enjoyed it. And I was like, oh, it was nice to just have a day. You basically like treating yourself. So I did it last year and I had my first ever hydrofacial and I did that by myself and I actually did enjoy that. So that's a really good one. Cute walk in the park, excellent. That's what I did this week. I got my little shake after Barry's and went for a walk. Basically, solo dates, essentially it's just romanticising your life. And like wherever you do, even if you're like going into a coffee shop or something, you sit, you have your favourite drink and you like just sit with yourself and just romanticize the idea. Journal if you want, Don't just like sit and doom scroll. I feel like that kind of defeats the point of a solo date. Like you wouldn't do that if you're on a date with somebody else or if you're out with your friends. So don't do it to yourself. Just like sit and enjoy your surroundings, enjoy yourself. Selfridge's Beauty Hall, I loved that one. I thought that was a really good shout. Yoga class, which I also did on my birthday solo date. Yoga class and a little cake and tea at Gale's after. Love that. Love Gale's. I haven't had my hot chocolate from there for a while, actually. Remember I was in my hot chocolate Gale's era. They do that dark hot chocolate. It's like 70% cocoa. Divine. And I was having it every week. I haven't told you this. I was having it every week because Gale's was directly opposite my therapist. So I would like go to, which also felt like a solo date, to be fair. I'd go to my therapist by myself, have a nice hour there, have a cry, and then cross the road and get my Gale's as a little reward. But I've stopped therapy and I actually feel pretty good for it. Obviously, I've been in and out for a long time now. And towards the end, like, obviously I love therapy and I think it's so good. But like, towards the end, I think I didn't really need it and I would be fine all week. And then there's no point going to a therapist and saying you're fine. They'll scoop something out of you. Some of the stuff my therapist was pulling up, I was like, I haven't even thought about this for like 10 years. But then you end up being sad. So then I would be like sad for an hour on a Friday. And I was just like, I don't feel like I want that. So I basically said to him I'm having a break. Like I obviously, if and when something else happens, I'll go back. But I don't feel like I need it every week now, which is a good thing. Although I am having Sunday scaries again with work. And I don't know why, because absolutely nothing has changed about the job, about the setup. I'm actually in the office less over the next few weeks. But I'm starting to think about Sunday scaries on like Saturday morning, which hasn't really happened for a long time. I'm dreaming about work on the weekend, which is always embarrassing. When you wake up and you've been dreaming about work and like people from work in your dream, like of all the things that could have blessed my mind, like I could have dreamt about somebody that had passed. I feel like that's always the most special dream. I could have been dreaming about Wales. I could have been dreaming about the animal, not the country, not the green grass of home. But there's so many nice things. I could be dreaming that I'd met Beyonce, like so many nice dreams, and instead I'm dreaming about my boss. Like, ick central. So that's a little cause of concern. I'll keep an eye on it. And then last one, is a night in bubble bath with picky tea. Can't go wrong with picky tea and a film. And I love that because I was always honestly thinking of solo dates as being out and like going out and doing something. But actually you can have a solo home date. I would have a nice little glass of wine in the bar. So I'm definitely going to do that as well, I think, at some point. Also, picky tea from M&S. I mean, where else can you get a picky tea from? Divine. I did recently try the chicken Kiev dip, which I loved, but my absolute favourite is the fully loaded one with like the avocado, sour cream, the jalapenos and the cheese. Oh, the Mexican one. Oh my God, divine. £4.50 for a mini one, but worth every penny. Okay, I've got another story, and this is a bad date that somebody went on. She says, I met up with this guy at a restaurant. The conversation's going well up until we order. He then excuses himself and is gone for a seriously long time. I thought he just left and I was considering paying the bill and leaving too. But maybe 10 minutes later, he walks back in with bloodshot eyes. I thought he'd gone out and smoked, which is a deal breaker for me, so I knew the rest of the date was pointless. But then he apologises for his absence and told me I ordered the same dish as his ex, and he got emotional and went and cried in his car. Seriously, I ordered the chicken Alfredo, pretty common meal. Needless to say, that was our first and last date. Oh, do you know what? I actually do really feel for him because it's obviously too soon to be on a date. Like when you're in that fresh breakup era and everything reminds you, oh, actually, this reminds me of would die if you ever listen to this episode, like not that he ever will, but there was this guy, and honestly if you know you know, there was this guy when we used to go out years ago in a big group. There was this guy that was obsessed with his ex-girlfriend. You couldn't get through a sentence without him saying that it was something to do with his ex. Like I could literally have sat up here and say, oh my god, the delivery driver's outside, and he'd be like, my ex used to love deliveries on a Sunday. She always used to eat like a burger or whatever. It was wild. Like the man was in the pits. I'd love to know if they're back together because he was crying out for her. So it's like you feel, but also it's a bit funny, and I don't know why. But it's just like a funny, silly thing of like somebody saying, "Can I order the chicken Alfredo?" and then that making you burst into tears. Like, oh my god. Oh, bad. I actually would love to hear your bad date stories if you've got any. And also, guys, when this comes out, it's the last Tuesday of January. We would have made it through January. God bless us all. So I would love to hear some Valentine stories, the good, the bad, the ugly. So yes, please send them over. Send me a DM at Sadie Maltby at loveoutluck, or you can send the email to sadie@loveoutluck.com, because I think those would be really fun to read out. Also, guys, I realised this week that I hadn't updated you on my Christmas break. I had a message from one of you guys, Hayley, shout out Hayley, and she said, like, it made me laugh. She said, hope you and your boyfriend had a good first Christmas together. And I was like, oh yeah, I never even updated you on that because, yeah, obviously I recently got back with an ex. The ex is Matt, guys. I know I was like so secretive. But I wouldn't say secretive. I feel like I've just been like a little bit protective of the whole thing, and still am a little bit. It's still like, it's just a little bit strange, honestly, like getting back with an ex. I feel like it's a whole new territory for me. Like I'll definitely do another episode on it. But I feel like I can tell you guys anyway because I feel like you're always kind and you've got my back. But Matt came back for Christmas, and it was his first time seeing like all my family and friends since we broke up. And I literally, like, I remember when I was pre-recording the episode for Christmas, I was like, oh, I'll probably have some wild stories, and like I thought it might be a bit funny, but it was actually so normal, which is a good thing, obviously. It just like slotted back and kind of felt like, honestly, like no time had passed, which was really nice. It wasn't strange. I was literally upstairs, like as I'd gone home before him. I was literally upstairs and he told me he was coming home. Like he rang me and he was like, I'm going to be about an hour. But to me, I've got no sense of time. Like you could tell me you're going to be 2 hours. I expect a phone call when you're 5-10 minutes away, at which point then I will rush and do everything that I was meant to do in that hour. Why he didn't give me that 10-minute warning, I don't know. But I had in my head that I would be like downstairs and it would be like this big thing. No, my mother just shouted upstairs and she was like, Sid, Matt's here. I was like, oh, what? I ran down and I was like, didn't tell me. He was like, I rang you an hour ago saying I would be an hour. Like, I'm on time. I was like, that phone call meant nothing to me. I can't stress enough how much you saying an hour, you'd be an hour, meant nothing to me. So you literally just like strolled in and it was just like all so normal, which was really nice. And obviously saw like all my family, and then I saw all his family. I've seen like lots of his family and I think all of his friends since, but it was the first time I'd seen some of his family. But it was just like really nice. So I feel like that's a good sign. Don't people say like that's the foundation of good friendships, if you can pick up exactly where you've left off like years later? So yeah, no crazy stories. It was all good and normal. Okay guys, well I think I'll wrap it up there. If you've got any feedback or anything you want to talk about in particular, or if you've got any stories, then yeah, please come and let me know. I've stopped the segment, if any of you've noticed, the all in or fold. I want to do that when I've got guests, but I feel like when it was just me, I don't know, I was like, I'm playing a game by myself. So I've stopped that. I definitely want to get more people on. I just love hearing people's stories, honestly. That was like one of the whole reasons I started the podcast. But yeah, if there is anything that you like that I've done before that I don't do anymore, or something that I never used to do and I do now which you're not really a fan of, then please let me know. Like if you guys listen every single week, and I know some of you do, and I'm so grateful. But yeah, if there's something that you like or don't like, then let me know, because obviously I feel like it's a group thing. It's just me lots of the time, so sometimes I'm trying to like guess and gauge things. So yeah, if you've got any feedback, then please let me know and come and chat to me, and I will speak to you next week.